Hi folks, this is Jeff Allen, and I'm going to do a really short video on this one on why it's important to do storytelling. Over the past couple months, I have changed the headline of my LinkedIn profile to indicate storyteller as one of the kind of the main points. And the reason for that is that over the past few years, at least the past 10 years, and probably longer, I have learned to kind of do a couple things. One of them is using the entire kind of pitch approach of using the 5W questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how much. Uh, into always everything I present is always those up front, and they're put in a very specific thing. And you want to watch my video, you want to watch my video specifically on the 5W approach to doing pitches. Okay, and you want to use that to watch that about that topic. But the and what I do is I always push. When I do that, I always make sure that everything is short, one line for each one of those questions, and I remove all the details and put those in like a question and answer kind of moment for whenever the audience is going to be able to do it. I need to give them hooks. I got to give them things to just hang on to, the least amount of information up front to get them following the kind of the frame of work we're going to do, and then push it to question and answer. But what I've learned in all of this is to turn the whole thing of this what, then why, then who, and then how, and then when and where, turn it into a story. Turn to your story. Tell a story, and tell a story if it's a customer, tell a story to get them to empathize with another customer situation, or tell a story from your own experience and do that. And this just makes everybody kind of feel, it helps them identify, get things to help them identify with what they're talking about. If you're making an informational presentation that's boring, then it's going to be boring. But if you tell a story, then it gets people interactive, and ask them questions, just like storytelling. Storytelling is you're being interactive with the audience. Do it. This works every time, and I do this for steering board and council meetings. I do it for internal meetings, department meetings, project meetings, presentations with the press and the media, whatever. It just works every time, and I've been doing it even for and do it for emails and for articles and little press release kind of things, and for even for interview sessions. I just use this little approach and simple approach, and it's just always works, and turns everything to a story. Okay, and really, we all grew up with learning stories from our parents. Many of us actually grew up learning in not some, probably 9/10 of the world's population grows up in has grown up in a language that is unwritten, and so they have storytellers. And this method has worked for thousands of years. It's only in our written language context where we have to have something more complicated, where you have to go reference to it because you have to go back to save material that's legacy. Everyone else in the world is kind of in the present kind of moment and learning, and that's how we do as children too. And children, we grow up this way. It's only when we get to go into school and we start to get a little higher levels of school, we start distancing ourselves from this storytelling approach, because we think it's like kid stuff. Well, folks, this is this is what people use. This just works. Okay, it doesn't matter what audience. And I have just, even the past weeks, I've stopped going to meetings with boring presentations. I go in with a story, and you know what? In the end, there's no questions. And this little 5W kind of approach. You finish everything, and there's no questions in the end. You got to keep the story active too, really interactive, and keep it so it's so addicting that they want to know more and they ask you questions. Okay, so that's how it goes, so that's my approach, and that's why I believe storytelling is a very important part of communication, and for any person, any language, any culture on this entire planet, and maybe other planets too.